Shit.
It's time. It's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on
Sorry,
YouTube.
I was speaking.
You're okay, man. You're okay. We've been through it this last week or so. So, hey, you see us together. I'm Charles. Got Patrick with me, and
You
we're
see us together, it's a good day.
yes. So we're here. Um, the time from last week. Of course, we weren't able to do a show. We were dealing with outages, weather. It was crazy here in Texas, and I'm sure you've seen a little bit of it down in Florida too, Patrick. So everything was pretty crazy where we were at. So we apologize for not being on the air last week, but here we are this week, and we don't plan on being off the air too much going forward. So we'll
Not
get
too
back on
long.
that. So we'll get back on the consistency starting tonight. And Patrick, we have a lot to catch up with. So we're going to start with the accident that Tiger Woods had today. Um, he was in,
I'm glad I didn't do my shorty on that.
yeah, it's a single car crash. Apparently, from what I've seen, he has compound fractures in both legs. And
Mm-hmm.
but he is in stable condition from what I heard. It doesn't appear the injuries are life threatening as of now. So look, first off, thoughts and prayers with Tiger Woods and his family. Um, this goes beyond anything that he has done in golf. And this is about the man, and hopefully he can get well and make a return to golf. Now he is 45 years old. I guess did, is this the end of his career, Patrick? I mean, do you see him coming back from this?
Well, I mean, truthfully, it's Tiger Woods, man. He's came back from some crazy stuff, with his wife and cheating on her with, what was it, 12 or 13 women, whatever it was.
Yeah, there's some crazy. I mean, you have porn stars in there with other models, whatever. But yeah, it
He,
was a lot.
he bounced back from that. I mean, do I think that his career is over? I mean, personally, no, I don't. I mean, some people can even argue that his career was over several years ago. But I think he just won a tournament late last year. So, I mean, I personally don't think his career is over. Will he be the same Tiger Woods that we have always known? No. Um, I think he is probably just going to be filling holes throughout tournaments and stuff like that. I think we have seen. I think we have seen the last of Tiger Woods as Tiger Woods that we have grown up knowing. But he'll make a few $1 million per year playing a little bit. And honestly, I mean, truthfully, I think he should quit. I think this should be where he stops and then signs on with somebody, major newscast or sportscast, and analyzes games for a little while, or analyzes tournaments for a little while. I think he should be done, but knowing him, he's probably just as hard headed as me or you would be, and we would try to make our comeback because what? No car crash breaking both of my legs is going to hold me down. I'm coming back. I'm coming back stronger than ever, and I'm going to try to play. It's probably what he's going to try to do. But he probably should stop, sign on with a company, and analyze tournaments for a little while. But personal opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I mean, it's about him recovering from this injury, getting well before he thinks about anything when it comes to golf. But I'm with you. I think he does return from this. I think it'll be kind of a scaled down schedule, which was kind of what he was doing anyway for the last few years. Basically playing in a couple of tournaments in between the majors, which are so this off the top of my head. You got the Masters, you have the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship, and the Open Championship, which used to be called the British Open. But I can see him playing in those and taking a few times to play in the other tournaments in between to, I guess, get geared up for those majors. Um, I like I said, I see him coming back from this as well. I think he will work his way back, and it seems like, I mean, if you got compound fractures in both legs, I guess it depends on the fractures, but you're talking about at least probably a year and some change before he does even get back to swinging. Or swinging golf clubs. I mean, I don't know how long this comeback is going to be when he does come in, but I do think he'll be back with you as well. Um, it it's one of those things. Also, when you think about the accident, it just makes you think. And this is just kind of going on to life stuff, where it's a reminder. You just never know what can happen from day to day. And like Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods is right there in that realm in terms of people we grew up with watching from our teenage years.
Yep.
And when I heard that news, I said, "Oh man, I mean, is he? Well, what is the condition? So is he going to be able to recover?" And it sounds like he's gonna survive it. I mean, survive it in the way of he's not going to die. But even still, man, it's just one of those things where it is. It's a little it hits you. It hits you, and you never know. You just never know, man, what can happen from day to day. So I think that's why with everything that's going on in the world and whatever it is, whatever, pandemic, weather, you know, unrest, whatever it is, man, you just gotta just come on by, think about the stuff that you do have, be thankful for the stuff you do have, man. If you have loved ones, like I'm sure all of us do, hug them, check in on them, call them, whatever it is, and just make sure that they're doing okay and everything's okay, because you just never know from day to day.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And so, hey, from Breath of Fresh Air webcast, Tiger, get well soon, man. Like I said, Patrick and I, we both grew up watching you. So I mean, hopefully we see you get back on the golf course soon. But first,
Take care of yourself.
take care of yourself and get well, and then be there for the fam as well. So I mean, you got 2 kids, so
yeah, take care of yourself, man. The game ain't going nowhere. It's going to be here for a while. It was here long before you. It'll be here long after you. So take care of yourself. Get yourself back up to 100%, not 99, not 98, 100. Come back to the game and do what you enjoy doing.
yeah. All right. Well, Patrick, let's move on. Gosh, it's never easy moving on from something like that, but
No, you need to start ending with that.
yeah, but you know me, man. I wanna end on a good note.
That's true. That's true. To get all the bad stuff out of the way, and then we'll pick up the show. I got
There
it.
it is.
Keep doing what you do. Then keep doing what
Yes.
you do.
All
Where's
right. Cool.
Jonathan at?
Appreciate it. And
Where's Jonathan?
huh?
Where's Jonathan at with his sorry ass?
Oh man, he missing in action. He's still got the milk carton out there. We still got him on the missing persons report.
Breath of fresh air looking for you, bro. We look.
Yes, it is. I'm sure he'll pop up at some point. He a basketball dude, so I expect him to pop up around.
Next
Give it
week.
a couple of weeks when March Madness starts. I expect him to start popping up
So
there.
next week.
Yeah, and then All-Star break for the NBA is coming up next weekend too. So I expect him to pop up. But if he ain't on here next week, yeah, I'm gonna write him myself. He is a Facebook friend of mine. So
You need to get on.
no, but well, Patrick, let's get to some baseball, man. This story here, you have the Seattle Mariners president and CEO abruptly stepping down from his post yesterday because, well, he was being an idiot. He got caught, I guess, on a video, basically talking about prospects from other countries and just talking about their struggles to learn the English language. Why this is a big deal, I don't know. Or I mean, why are we talking about struggles for somebody learning the English language? I don't understand why you would even bring that up.
Yeah, I didn't understand it either. But I did figure it was going to be one of the topics that you brought up. So
Cool. And then
I
on
didn't get a
top,
list of topics today, and now so I'm having to wing the whole thing today.
well, Patrick, that's no different from any other show.
Oh,
So but you have him on here. He's talking mess about Kyle Seager and basically saying this is probably his last year. I mean, I would like to know how Kyle Seager feels about that, but whatever. And so, of course, when this thing comes out, he apologizes, but then he resigned the next day. Patrick, the main thing with this is these are the people who are in leadership positions. Why are people like this dude, Kevin Mather is his name, why are people like him? Why do they continuously, how do they continuously be in these like wealthy leadership positions
and they
with
can't handle what they're doing.
Hmm?
And they can't handle what they're doing.
I don't understand it. And you know what? Leadership has been a lot on my mind the last few weeks. And I just continuously see, and this isn't to point out other people who are actually being leaders out there, but it seems like there's a lot of people who just want to be bosses. And that's it. They want to be bosses and they just want the position. It sounds like this dude is one of them. And what you know what? Maybe look, maybe he was doing a good job. I don't know, but he comes out and he has these viewpoints.
Did Seattle make the playoffs?
Huh?
Did Seattle make the playoffs?
Well, no, and
No,
so
then he's not doing
they
a good
didn't
job.
make the. So
I mean,
so,
look, it's look, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do got to say this. No, he's not doing a good job. Seattle hasn't made the playoffs in several years, and they're not making any noise. Whether it's to pick up somebody that's well known, they have no pitching staff, they have no relieving staff, they have no outfield, and they have no lineup. No, he's not
here's
doing
the
a good job.
caveat.
He's
But here's
pissing
the
it.
caveat to that, Patrick. I don't know how long he's been on the job. So I mean, that would be one thing that I would have to find out. Now, if you
Well,
had been
guess
on
what?
the job, huh? Check it
Well, guess
out.
what? Let's look it up.
Let's look it up. So that's what I'm saying.
What's his name again?
Kevin Mather.
Kevin Mather.
So if he hadn't been on the job for maybe 1 or 2 years, then all right, maybe he was trying to rebuild some things. But if he'd been on the job for longer than 4 or 5 years, then yeah, he garbage. So
Dude, he just looks stupid.
yeah. So
Dude, if
how long was he on the job?
that I'm looking at?
Well, so how long has he been on the job?
Well, I haven't got past his look yet. Hold on,
Get past the look, Patrick.
dude. This is what this his face alone should be on your WTF segment.
Yeah.
He looks like a rapist, dude.
All right.
He looks like he needs to be slapped. Like with every, it looks like he needs to. He looks like he needs to clone himself, and somebody needs to put him in a big line, and then just slap every one of them. Every one of them. He looks dumb. Anyway, okay. Past his looks. Hold on.
If you've been there for longer than 3 or 4 years, then yeah, dude, then you wasn't doing a good job. I mean, everything you said is right. Seattle has not really been relevant in any type of playoff race
Forever. Let's see here. You keep talking. I'm listening. I'm just going to do this research.
No, I mean, look, my thing is with the leadership and the record that they have, I don't understand where you get loose saying stuff like this about prospects that you're trying to bring onto the team. And it just sends a bad message to the players and future players who may want to come to Seattle and play, free agents or whoever. So if you're gonna have people like this who are in charge, well, I mean, and then I guess we'll see who takes over. I mean, since he stepped down right after the comments, go figure, coward.
I know,
But
loser.
but but it just seems just out of place, man. I don't know. That like this seems to me again. This is the latest case of people who have no business being in positions like this, positions of leadership, where they have so much say so on $1 million, million franchise in the millions of dollars or whatever. It's just terrible.
Dude,
So, what's up?
Dude,
What, Patrick?
25 years with the Mariners?
Oh man, no wonder Seattle wasn't making the playoffs. So because when was the last time they made the playoffs? I know they made it in 01.
01?
That's the last one.
Probably.
Oh,
25 years?
well, no wonder Seattle was doing good with attitudes like that. No wonder they weren't doing it.
He was taking more than the tip then. Had to be. Jesus. Dude, look, okay. First of all, breath of fresh air. I'm sorry. I have been in a very weird mood for 2 weeks. So sorry for all of the straight to the point. 25 years this dude has screwed up and he just kept getting a better job.
Yep. And to say 01, that's the last time I remember Seattle making the playoffs. I don't think they've made it since then.
Let me look.
So, I mean, they struggled, and they've had some good players there. I mean, Felix Hernandez, of course, Ichiro. I think Kyle Seager. I know Robinson Cano was there for a little bit, and shoot, he's suspended for the Mets.
2001.
With an attitude like that, no wonder Seattle was not making the
For real.
That says a whole bunch. And so that's why I wanted to know how long he's been on there, because if you've been there for over two decades and a half and Seattle has done nothing, I mean, maybe because so that goes back to 1996. That means Ken Griffey Jr. was still on the team. Alex Rodriguez was a rookie with them.
25 years? I can't do that.
Dudes like so you say we got Ken Griffey Jr., you got Alex Rodriguez, dudes like Edgar Martinez, Tino Martinez, Jay Buhner, lots of people, Randy Johnson. I mean, all these people were on Seattle, and then they ended up leaving. I guess whenever their contract went, well, I guess if this dude was in the, if you had dudes like this running the asylum, no wonder.
No wonder you ain't making it anywhere.
So
before we started the show, what I was talking about, this is the type of crap I'm talking about right here. This right here. It just irks me so much that somebody, and it's probably because his dad knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who slept with somebody.
Yeah, it is. Sorry. Ooh, yawn. I'm tired, y'all. Sorry. It is.
No worries. I'm about to yawn myself.
But it is. A lot of times, that's what it seems like, man. It's who you know, and it just seems like this dude. I don't know. Hearing comments like this, it just makes you wonder how long he's been thinking this way, how long he's been putting out these ideas. And then most of all, they can kind of explain why this team has done nothing. Nothing.
It makes sense now.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe now that he stepped down, maybe Seattle could do something. Get somebody in there who actually values prospects and ain't worried about some type of ain't worried about some type of language barrier. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Atlanta's worried about no language barrier. You seen what they did? All their prospects a couple of years ago.
uh,
Acuna and
but
God,
but Atlanta. So that I mean, before we move on, Atlanta they have a good farm system. They've always been good at getting prospects.
yeah. And
So
they also hired a translator to come in and like one of the few teams that has several translators for the language barrier.
what? So you're getting all these foreign prospects, and you actually hire a translator?
Go
What a
figure. There
concept!
is ways around language barriers. Holy cow.
What a
Egg thing.
concept!
Huh.
Wow,
So,
translator.
so what you're saying is there's actually a good way to run a business?
Multiple.
Multiple good ways, huh?
Yeah. So why you ponder that, and I'm still kind of pondering that myself. Uh, we're, we're,
Talking
we're
about eyebrows.
we're we're gonna go and talk about a couple of NFL things that have made news since we were last on the show 2 weeks ago. First, all right. So Cam Newton, Patrick. Cam Newton was at a I guess some type of camp. Maybe it's a 7-on-7 camp, and some 16-year-old kid gets loose talking best to him, and well, he basically called. No, he did. He called him ass, and and he's a free agent. Now look, the kid, you're 16 years old. You you Cam Newton, I felt like handled this pretty well. Because the kid was saying, "You a free agent?" You asked. Cam Newton's like, "I'm rich." And so, which he's made $122 in his career, and so he's like, "I'm rich." You ask, "I'm rich." You ask, "I'm rich." You a free agent? I'm rich. That's pretty much how this went. So Cam Newton came at him. He's like, "Man, where your dad at?" So, and then the same thing, the kid's like, "You ask, you rich, or you ask." So that's all the kid can say. So obviously he needs to step up if he's going to talk some mess. He needs to step his game up. He's young. Maybe he can step it up as he gets a little bit older.
Give me a
but
solid wing.
but but yeah, I mean, look, you're going to these camps, man. I don't know. Look, this is because I know we talked a little bit about Cam Newton last week. The man has been pretty successful during his career, even going back to college. He played in, well, he didn't do much in Florida. I mean, he was there, but he got in trouble. And then he went to, I think it was Blinn College, which is actually here in Texas. Won a championship out there. I forget what division it is, Division 2, 3, something like that, before he came to Auburn, of course, and won a national championship there. Got into the league, drafted by the Carolina Panthers, uh, played in the Super Bowl, was a league MVP, dual threat quarterback. He's had a pretty good career. So, look, it's not like the kid was talking to a scrub here. you know, I'm just saying. It's not it,
Depends on the
it's not
player.
like he was talking to like I don't know whatever, like Nathan Peterman or somebody. It's not like he was talking to me. It's exactly. But Patrick, all these people. I mean, we talk mess about these players and stuff, but they're in the pros. They got there somehow. So it's not like it's not like they're totally garbage. They're garbage in the figurative sense.
Well, you have to look at many different things. What causes a player to be garbage? I mean, you have a certain skill set, and if you're put with, let's say you're a lineman, right? And you're really good at your job, but you're surrounded by four people that's not as good as you are. You're only as strong as your weakest link. You know what I'm saying? As a lineman, you can only block one, maybe two, and push the second one off of his route. You're not one person that can block seven people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't block everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you're only as strong as your weakest link. And this guy over here may not be as strong as this guy over here. So if you double team him, now he's even that much weaker. And if he's guarding the strong side or if he's guarding the weak side or whichever, there's so many variables. But the point of the fact of the matter is that they're in the pros. They did something in their career right, or they wouldn't be there. Somebody has seen them, and we said it many times. Managers don't hire based on what you have done. They hire based on what your potential is for the season, for this team moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can sit and call Cam Newton an ass and garbage and he's a free agent all you want, but the dude, like you said, has won 2 championships with 2 different colleges, one being with Auburn, and he's played in a Super Bowl, which he got his butt handed to him, but it doesn't change the fact that he's been there. He makes he's a good quarterback. I mean, I wish he would stop trying to impress everybody with his unique style and just study film and play the game. Because if he would just study film and play the game, any team in the entire NFL would win. He's that good. But his work ethic, I always compare. You've heard me say this. I've compared him to Michael Vick. Michael Vick had all the talent in the world, had the potential to win 2 Super Bowls if he would have just picked up some film and watched it. He's going straight on sheer talent, and that's what Cam Newton's doing. Just pick up some film.
So I'll say this for Cam Newton, and this is kind of coming to his defense here, because Bill Belichick, he gave a lot of credit to Cam Newton for his work ethic. I truly think with New England things could have worked out, but my gosh, New England ain't have nobody. I love those weapons. they didn't have anybody to throw to. Now Cam, it doesn't look like he can throw deep passes. That I will say. It looks like his arm, his shoulder, it just does not look right. And any pass that does go down the field, it seems like he's putting everything into it. Like everything he has into it. So we'll see if New England brings him back. I don't know where exactly he will be. I do still think there is a lot left for him, but just like with a lot of the other quarterbacks, well, hell, any quarterback out there, you have to have a team around him to where some of these other talents can start to show, to where together they get uplifted. Like I said, Patrick, when we were on here 2 weeks ago, and especially after the Super Bowl, what Tom Brady was able to do, it is shaking up the league. It is totally shaking up the way people are thinking, period. Yep. And you have all these people coming out here with these quarterbacks. Russell Wilson said his piece from a week or so ago where he's talking about, well, hey, I'm tired of getting hit. In essence, throwing his offensive line under the bus. Aaron Rodgers, he's pretty cryptic. I can't stand that, the way people are cryptic. But Aaron Rodgers is pretty cryptic, but pretty critical sometimes of his teammates if the offensive line ain't quite protecting or whatnot. And this is where, and then Cam Newton, look, same thing. I don't think Cam Newton does it as much as he did before. I mean, because he was downright pouting before. He was pouting before, but I think he has grown, and I still think there's some good football left in him. Got to get the shoulder right, make sure that he can get to where he doesn't struggle to throw deep passes, and I personally would like to see him come back with New England because I think Bill Belichick can pull whatever is left out of him. I mean, I'm still that confident on Bill Belichick. Even though people want to sit here and say, "Oh, well, Tom Brady left and he won a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick must suck." Really, really. I
He went
mean,
9-7. Team that shouldn't have went 1-6, 1-15.
yeah, exactly, Patrick, and that's my point. That team they had 7-9 is a tremendous success with that team they had this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if they're able to get some more players in there, we'll see what direction they go with the quarterback. But they're able to get some people, get some of their players in there because some of them opted out because of COVID. So if they're able to get in there, then I think they'll be okay. But hey, back to Cam Newton and his kid though, man. Look, part of this I thought was funny. But the kid, come on, man, come on. If you're gonna talk best, at least at least know your research. You know, like do your homework. And I know what the recent history says, but Cam Newton's a pretty accomplished player.
Yeah, and you got to go back. I mean, anytime you do trash talk, you got to go back, know your history on the guy. He's achieved a lot in his career. So, is he ass? No, I wouldn't say that. Is he ass right now? Yeah. But I mean,
I don't even think he's ass right now.
No, I'm just hoping he watches this and says, "I'm rich." I'm not, because I got something for that. I'm just saying.
Well,
so, and I'm gonna teach this kid how to trash talk.
Yeah, the kid got to step his game up. Besides, you ask, you a free agent. You ask, you a free agent.
Yeah, I got something for that because he's not gonna. Chances are he's probably not gonna be a free agent for long. He. I mean, I would like to see him back in New England, but chances are he's gonna be in Houston.
Ugh, yeah, Houston. Wow, that's a mess. Well,
it's not gonna get better in Houston, and in every aspect, Houston is falling apart.
Yes, and so
football, baseball.
And so you bring up other quarterbacks, and another one got traded, and this, of course, we're talking about Carson Wentz. Got traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Indianapolis Colts for a third and second round draft choice, which could be a first, depending on how many snaps Carson Wentz plays. There's a lot of I know. There's a lot of reports out here, conflicting reports, and I guess it just depends on who you were.
Is this how they do trades now?
Apparently,
if he takes less than 400 snaps, then I want a first round draft pick.
Yep. Yep. Because the thing is,
okay.
so a couple of things here, though, Patrick. A couple of things. Number one, the Eagles wanted too much for him. They were looking potentially for a first rounder, maybe two, and another second rounder or whatever it was. But they wanted multiple first round picks for Carson Wentz. That wasn't going to happen. This dude just got benched. You're not getting first round picks for Carson Wentz. Wasn't going to happen. Number two, apparently the only two teams who were out there wanting him, which apparently just turned into one, but I guess the Chicago Bears were rumored to have interest in them too, but the Bears never put out a deal. And then they were saying, well, Carson Wentz don't want to go to Chicago. Well, I don't blame him if he doesn't want to go to Chicago. That's a jacked up situation too. The GM and the head coach, they're on thin ice. I'm surprised they brought him back this year. Well, actually, I'm not. Like, I felt they were on ice, but I don't think they were on the ice to where they were going to get fired. Now, hot seat, yes. And because they were able to back into the playoffs, that's probably what saved their job anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
It's hitting me, man. I went to bed pretty late last night.
No, it's okay, man. Grind through it.
I'll be here.
But you better not be falling asleep in the chair, Patrick. But but that's the best of that's the best of situation in Chicago. So now Carson Wentz goes to Indianapolis. Pretty good situation there. You have a good defense, you have a good running game, pretty good offensive line. The weapons in terms of the receivers, you could bring that up a little bit too. But in all, pretty good team. Carson Wentz, right now, I think he's in his head. There's a lot that's going on in his head. He felt backstabbed in Philly. A lot went wrong. You and I, we discussed it on this show about Philadelphia. There was a lot of messes. There was a lot of mess that could evenly be spread around there in Philadelphia. So as it was, he got benched. Doug Peterson, the head coach, he gets fired. They bring in the offensive coordinator, who was the offensive coordinator for the Colts, in to coach the Eagles. And Carson was just like, no, I still want to go. So they ended up trading him back to Indianapolis, which, of course, is coached by the guy who was the offensive coordinator there when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Frank Reich. So it's a good situation for Carson Wentz. And I think with the team there, or at least in my eyes, it's a good situation for Carson Wentz. And I think he just has to come in there and just manage. He should be able to just come in there and just manage the game. If he starts trying to play hero ball, that's where he could get into trouble. But in all, I think this is a good situation for him to land.
I agree. I mean, Indianapolis, the only thing that they were really missing last year was a quarterback. The only thing I would have to say about
wait a minute, you didn't like Phillip Rivers? All right, go on.
To answer your question, no. I've never liked Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I haven't been the biggest fan of Phillip Rivers
either. I mean, no, he's never even had potential. I think anybody in the world could be a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers. He's just been handed to me, he's just one of those people that's just been handed a golden plate in his life. Truthfully, to me, I think he is no talent at all.
No talent, really?
I call him
together a Hall of Fame. Okay, I'll say Hall of Fame worthy career. He won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer to me, but he could probably end up in the Hall of Fame. He could.
If he does, then a lot of people need to reevaluate their lives.
Yeah. Okay, Patrick. You just when you don't like somebody, my gosh. You don't all right, Patrick. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay, what was I saying? You got me. See, this is what happens. You get me all on another tangent.
No, you were just talking about the situation Carson Wentz is going to in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, and I mean, to me, no, I don't think Indianapolis had a good quarterback. I think this is a better situation for Indianapolis. I think it's a better situation for Wentz. The only thing I gotta say is he's got to get out of his own head. He's got to get to a point where he feels comfortable back in that pocket and throw the ball. He cannot make these little short, dinky throws and expect to win in Indianapolis. He's going to have to be the Carson Wentz that we saw that got them to the playoffs and then hurt himself and practically handed, let's be honest, he handed a Super Bowl to Nick Foles. Because that's what it was. I mean, that defense in Philadelphia was crazy good. And all Foles had to do was manage the game. Like you said, he goes into Indianapolis. He's got a great running game. He's got a great wide receiving core. It's a really good defense. All he has to do is go in there and manage the game, get out of his own head, throw the ball deep a couple of times. They'll win some games in Indianapolis.
Yes, and you know how it is with these quarterbacks, and one of the first things they ask is, "Well, is this gonna move the needle?" Personally, I don't think it moves the needle. I don't. Now,
I
uh,
do.
I I I think. Look, can the Colts beat the Chiefs right now? I'm gonna say no. Can they beat the Bills right now? I'm gonna say no. They played them tough in the playoff game, but I don't think they can beat the Bills. I don't think they can beat the Ravens. I don't even think they can beat the Browns right now.
Um, well, I mean, as of right now, no. I mean, honestly, because we really don't know what Wentz is going to be doing in this system.
It's true.
But, like with anything, let's give it a year. Let's put a pin in this conversation. Let's give it a year and say, okay, now that he's been in the system for 16 games, maybe, possibly plus, now that he's been in the system for a year, let's reevaluate that this time next year and see if Carson Wentz is actually going to move that needle. My personal opinion, I think he does. Do I think he's going to, and I'm going to agree with you. Do I think he beats the Chiefs? No. Do I think he beats the Browns? No. Do I think he beats the Ravens? Maybe. And I would go with the Browns and the Ravens as a maybe. But I would probably leaning more towards no right now. Do they beat the Bills? Absolutely not. The Chiefs and the Bills are absolutely no's because they are more polished and well-rounded teams, and their system is set in place, and they're not losing anybody coming out of this year. So, um, and the only reason why I say I think they can beat the Browns is, I mean, Baker Mayfield did really well. He's Baker Mayfield, and I'm not 100% sold on him.
No, I'm
The
not either.
weapons that he has, phenomenal, but I would like to see him play.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we will. And so, Patrick, who's more of a Carson Wentz fan than me? To be honest with you, most of the time I have his back,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think him going to the Colts is a very good situation for him, and I do think he'll be successful. I just think with the rest of the teams in there, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really really difficult to deal with those other teams. And uh, Carson Wentz, I mean, look, I mean, I feel like he could still play. I mean, when he was good, he was MVP good. He was.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can take that away. People want to go ahead. They want to sneeze on that. Oh man, Carson Wentz good. Look, that dude would have won MVP a few years ago if he doesn't go down.
Yeah.
So the man has elite quarterback play in him. I don't think he needs it as much when he goes to the Colts. But there's going to be a few occasions, of course, like there is all the time, where he gonna have to be elite at points, and that's the thing that he's got to be able to kind of pull out, especially when the Colts do play teams like I guess we'll start with the Titans in the AFC South since they're in the division. Got to beat them first, and then go to the Browns, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, and then we'll see. And then other teams will get better. But overall, I like the trade. The Eagles are a mess. They're going to go with Jalen Hurts. We'll see what Jalen Hurts can do. I think he can do well, but just like that situation, the Eagles have a lot of cleaning up to do.
Yeah.
So,
And in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to take them more than 11-5 to win that division next year. I just do. I think Carson Wentz makes a huge statement that you're going to have to be 13-3, 14-2 to win this division. I do think he moves the needle, and this is coming from a person that I criticize the absolute crap out of Carson Wentz, and you know that you've defended him from me more times than anybody has, and I don't move the needle that much in that division.
so well, we have a lot of time to go till the season does start. So I mean, we'll definitely, I'm sure, when it comes time to pick the division winners and stuff, We'll see where everything goes with that. I mean, the AFC South, though, I mean, it's pretty garbage. So we can say this definitively right away that it'll be between the Colts and Titans. Jacksonville's rebuilding, and Houston's a hot ghetto mess too. So,
I mean, if you ask me today, I would tell you I do have Tennessee winning that division. But there's a lot more. There's a lot of time that has been. There's a lot more moves that can be made. We still got to see the draft and everything like that. But if you ask me today, yes, I would say the Tennessee Titans would probably win that division.
All right, Patrick. Well, let's move on to basketball. So we got a couple of quick topics here. We'll get to your man in a minute. But we're going to start with the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, Patrick, we are going to talk about him. But let me bring it up. Let me bring it up, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. But Philadelphia, the 76ers, they have the best record in the East right now. Joel Embiid playing like an MVP. Right now, people kind of have him as the favorite to win the MVP. Of course, that's dependent on how the rest of the season goes. Ben Simmons playing pretty well. Tobias Harris playing pretty well. Doc Rivers coaching pretty well. So my question with all this, with Philadelphia being first in the East right now, Patrick, is this the year?
No.
The 76ers break through.
No.
And at least go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
No.
Not necessarily the semifinals, but okay, so who's better?
No.
Who else would you pick?
No.
Who else would you pick?
God, I'd probably go with Brooklyn before I go with 76ers. I just don't trust them, man. I just don't. I mean, truthfully, the 76ers are a better team. But they shoot themselves in the foot, man. I don't trust them. I don't trust them, and I think Brooklyn would. I mean, I think Brooklyn would beat them. Plus, you got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and they have more experience than those boys on the 76ers. I mean, unfortunately, you got Kevin Durant, who's played in several finals, and you got Kyrie Irving that has played in several finals. I don't care how how many burner accounts and how whiny they are. They still got more experience, and I would go with experience over what Philadelphia's putting out right now anyway. So, no, I don't think this is the year they break through. I think they fall flat on their face, same spot, just like they did last year, just like they did the year before.
So you bring up the experience of Brooklyn and the guys who are on there. You know what? Look, I'm gonna put it like this: I don't trust anybody in the Eastern Conference. I think it's an absolute crapshoot. Yeah, listen, look, we know Brooklyn. We know Brooklyn can score. All right, they have three of the top offensive players in the league for sure. Kevin Durant's an all-time great scorer. James Harden, his stats are all-time great offensively. All-time great stuff. Kyrie Irving, he's one of the most dynamic offensive players in there too. The problem with Brooklyn, they play absolutely positively no defense, and I just think right now, I just don't trust them either. Just with because Kyrie Irving, he's a malcontent. Kevin Durant, malcontent. James Harden, he collapses in the playoffs. So I just don't know with Brooklyn. But back to Philly, I'm with you on this. I want to say they can break through, but this is what it's going to be dependent upon.
Everything wants me to say that.
Yeah, but this is what, but this is what it's dependent upon to me. Joel Embiid, when he is in there, he's pretty consistent. He can give you a good 30 and 15 when he's in there. So I think you're going to get what you get from Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is the guy to me that he has to step up his game. He is playing better. But damn. jump shot? Can we get a jump shot? And also, and this might be the biggest thing in the clutch moments. He doesn't want the ball. Period. Now this is way beyond anything with LeBron James and him taking a last shot. Ben Simmons does not want the ball. He wants nothing to do with the clutch situations because he struggles at the foul line. So I mean, they implement Hackabin when he's in there. So really, look, honestly, here's the thing. I can take look if you got a bad free throw percentage, that's one thing. But damn it, show me you want the ball there. And then that way I'm like, you know what? Hell, at least look, I don't trust the percentage. I don't trust the shooting percentage. I don't trust the free throw percentage. But I trust him because he wants the ball in this situation. And when he needs to knock it down, he ready. He at least he's not scared of the situation. Ben Simmons wants nothing to do with the ball, and that's what it's going to be dependent on.
One thing. If he is that scared, then what he needs to do is go to the free throw line. Look, my coach, practice. My coach always told me, he said, good players are made in the court, great players are made in the driveway. You take it back and you go back to your fundamentals. One of the best things I love about baseball is when something's not going right or when there's a losing streak, first thing everybody does on the baseball field is they take it back to the fundamentals. And you watch teams, if they're struggling, you'll watch them go back to the fundamentals. And the fundamentals means no shifts. You're hitting from the side of the plate that you grew up on. You don't play the grass. You play even with the bag or behind it. You don't get fancy with your double plays. You don't get fancy with anything. You get underneath the ball, two hands, you catch it. You can watch teams go from, I mean, it was like that year when Oakland had that like 21 game win streak, right? Unprecedented. Many people don't know they went on a huge losing streak before that, right? And they said, it's time to get back to the fundamentals. And that's what they did. They got back to the fundamentals of baseball, and look what fundamentals did, right? Ben Simmons, sir, you get your butt into the gym and you do the fundamentals. And I guarantee you, come next year, you'll want the ball because your free throws are not going to be, well, I think his free throws are what, 60-something% right now?
If that.
If that, he should be a solid 75. You go to the fundamentals, you get your butt in the gym, and you master the craft that you are getting paid millions of dollars to do. I can tell you right now, if somebody paid me millions of dollars and they're like, I want to pay you millions of dollars and you need to play basketball, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, you give me a $2 million sign-on bonus. I'm quitting everything I do. I'm paying my bills, and my butt is in the gym right now. I'm working on my free throws. I'm working on my short range. I'm working on my dribbling. I'm working on my mid range. I'm working on my long range. I'm working on my free throws. I want to be 80+% at my free throws, and I'm going to be 40 to 50% from the field. That's my goal. And if he's not willing to do that, then I'll put my trust back in Brooklyn in a heartbeat. But if he wants to get out here and do this, fantastic. You master your craft. But that's what he needs to do. He needs to take this off time and master his craft.
So, all right. Well, then we'll just leave this with the Eastern Conference. We don't know, and we'll just see who comes out because we don't trust anybody.
So, I don't trust anybody out there. Western Conference is going to win the finals anyway, so it don't matter.
So speaking of the West, all right. So Patrick, we're going to end it on this note. So look, we're going to bring this up about your boy LeBron because he's at it again. So I'll explain.
Yeah.
So the Lakers have gone on a little losing streak, and it is dependent on Well, Anthony Davis has been out. So I bring this up because, of course, now this is more of the load that has to go on James to carry, I guess, until Anthony Davis gets back healthy, which whatever, however long that may be. He's dealing with an Achilles injury, calf strain, so something definite that you have to be careful with when it comes to Anthony Davis. We'll see what they do during, whatever trade period, if they're able to pick up somebody on a buyout, whatever. But the reason why I say LeBron is at it again is because and people want to talk about his minutes and uh people are asking him, hey, what can you do with the load? And then LeBron, you know how he gets. He's very cryptic, very passive aggressive. And it's one of those, well, I have to step up and I still gotta trust my teammates, but do you know what happens when he starts talking that way? People get moved. And so yeah. And so the theme going with leadership, the theme going with leadership, that this is that's why I say he's at it again. We know how this goes with LeBron. He'll sit here, he'll say little passive aggressive cryptic tweets, and then things start to get just a little bit toxic. And this happens a good amount of times in LeBron's career where he does this, and a coach gets fired here, a player gets moved there, and then all of a sudden all is right in the world, and then he's doing his thing because he has all the quote unquote help he needs. Now, Patrick, we know how it is. No player wins a championship by themselves. LeBron is a generational talent. He's had a great career. He's probably going to go down as one of the top players ever to play, stats wise. But we know how all this stuff goes down with them. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers don't fix this. And especially if Anthony Davis is not going to be able to get back, well, then we'll probably see an early exit for the Lakers because the Western Conference is pretty solid there. And you definitely need two superstars, if not three, to get anywhere at this point, the way things are in the NBA. So yeah. I LeBron being LeBron. I figured you have a good take on this.
Okay. So this is my look. Anthony Davis. I truthfully felt that Anthony Davis was the glue for this team. It's the only way this team is going to stay together is through Anthony Davis. And I'm not saying that you have to run the ball through Anthony Davis. I'm saying you have to run the team through Anthony Davis. He is the middleman that keeps LeBron from the other team. It was like when the Heat played. D Wade was the man between LeBron and the team. And if you always paid attention to how LeBron played, and he always get irritated or he would get upset, who was the person or persons that was between LeBron and the rest of the team?
Yeah, it was D Wade. Absolutely.
D Wade, sometimes Chris Bosh.
Yeah, common influences. Yes.
Yeah. Anthony Davis is that man in LA. He is the one that will cut that off before it gets to the rest of the team. And Anthony Davis, if you think about it, the first year together was it last year? Well, last year and the year before because they separated it due to COVID. But Anthony Davis did not know he was that man. Hence the reason why almost everybody left and they had to put up a whole new squad except for LeBron and Anthony, right? He knows he's that man now. He knows LeBron is over here and the rest of the team is over here, and AD's got to be right in the middle to break both of those off. Make sure nothing goes awry, right? But you need him on the field, you need him on the court, and you need him off the court. This is a problem. And it's always been a problem because when D Wade was off the court, what happened?
Yeah, LeBron yells at everybody. Yes,
LeBron yells at everybody
even if it's his fault.
because nothing is ever his fault.
Yeah.
It's always, it's always my way or you can get out. And um, asked a few coaches, asked a few players. It's his way or the highway. Here we are. Same situation that we were in with him in Miami in his fourth year. Same situation we were in with Cleveland in his fourth year. Here we are, year 2, quote, year 3, and here we are. Lakers are in the third place. They're in third place behind
Utah
and the Clippers. And both of those teams without Anthony Davis will put the Lakers out. And it's not because there's a lack of talent on LA. It's the fact that LeBron does not know how to lead. It's the same shit all over again. He doesn't know how to lead. He claims he's a leader, but he doesn't know how to lead.
Stop cussing, Patrick.
Sorry. It's been a couple of weeks. But this is the problem that we've always had with LeBron James. Whether he doesn't want the ball or whether he wants the ball and he wants to yell at everybody because he makes a mistake. And I always go to it every time. Mario Chalmers. That one play where Mario Chalmers was running down the court, makes a cut towards the basket, and LeBron throws it to out of bounds. And then he told Mario, I thought you were going to cut. And he was like, I did cut. You threw it over there. I was over here. And it was the first time Mario Chalmers ever stood up for himself.
Yeah.
Guess what? Mario Chalmers didn't have that many playing minutes after that because it's LeBron's way or the highway. And he's a jerk, man. I don't like him. I don't like him as a player. As a guy off the field or off the court, I would like to think he's a fantastic guy. He does a lot for the community. He does, just on the court, he's a jerk. It can be an early exit if AD is not there.
Yeah, and so LeBron to me is kind of that guy. He's the flash. He's the style guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings substance. So that I don't want it to sound like he doesn't bring substance. But the substance I'm talking about is the people like what you said, those glue people. The behind the scenes guys who are literally keeping this together. Literally being the calming influence. Because look, LeBron's a moody cat. He is. He's a moody dude. And he'll come in joking 1 minute, and then the next minute he's in this foul move for whatever reason. And so those guys that you talk about, Anthony Davis now, Dwayne Wade for Miami. I guess in Cleveland that would be I definitely was a Kyrie Irving.
I would say more Kevin Love.
Yeah, probably Kevin Love more or less. And so you need those guys if you're going to keep it together. And I feel like that is a history. So one other thing I want to say is if you are watching the show, if you come through and you watch this webcast, you're a LeBron James fan. We're not coming from a place of we don't like this dude. I like him. But that's not the place that we're coming from. The reason why we may say we don't like him is because this has been a pattern. This isn't anything that's just started happening. This has been a constant pattern of LeBron being on a team, whether it's Miami, Cleveland, or now with the LA Lakers, of him supposedly the leader of the team, but when things don't go well, he's yelling at everybody else, even if it's his fault. And that's not what leaders do. It's almost like everything has to be correct. Everything has to be perfect for them to make these runs to the championships. And look, I get it. LeBron, he's been in the 8 straight finals. I get it. I understand. I mean, so it's not like the man hasn't been wildly successful, but there is a pattern of if that glue guy is not there, that team is going to fray. It's going to be very rough around the edges, and that's where we're coming from. Any viewpoint, for that matter, that is expressed on this show, I want it to be known, not just for LeBron, but anybody. I want it to be known we are coming from a spot where we're trying to look at everything logically. There's no hate here. No, it's not coming from that type of place. And so I know people will come out, you be hating on LeBron. No,
No,
we're
I don't
not.
hate him.
Yeah.
I wish him the most. I miss him. I wish him the most success that anybody could. I love the fact that he has worked his butt off to get where he's at. There's a few things I disagree with, but that's with anybody. There's things that I disagree with Charles, and there's things Charles disagrees with me. That's what makes us human. That's what makes the world beautiful. I don't hate LeBron at all. I despise a lot of the things he does and the way he acts, but this is coming from, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he sucks. He's a pro for a reason. But no, it is not coming from hatred. There's no hate here. I respect everybody in this world and have an immense amount of love for everybody. I do. It's just we are looking at this from a very logical standpoint. And whether you say that that's biased or unbiased, that's your opinion. Leave the comments. Let us know how you feel about it. And we'll let you know. So, no, there's no hate here. No hate here. I love LeBron just as much as anybody else. I just don't like him as a player.
And so with that, let's get on out, Patrick. We knew this show was going to run a little bit long, so that's okay. I went ahead, I put in a post. I was like, yeah, don't be surprised if we run a little. We had 2 weeks of stuff to catch up on. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you guys go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. We are still working on these different things that we have been talking about. We are getting to them. I know I've been looking at them a little bit, kind of got knocked off by last week, but we're back on the saddle, so we'll be okay. And things are coming. Stay with us. For those who have stayed with us and continue to support, we thank you for it, appreciate it, and keep it with us. We promise it will be worth your while. Patrick, is there anything that I'm missing?
You got it all, man.
Well, all right, everybody. Take care. Have a good evening. And we will see if we can get some more products out for you guys the rest of the week. Take care.